1 John 2:18 KJV. Little children, it is the last time. And as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come, even now are there many Antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time. The Bible told us that he, the Antichrist, will come in the last days to do many things. We ask many questions about who this Antichrist is. We are curious, and we want to know if this Antichrist is in the world already. There is no way to know for sure if he is here already, but we do know that his spirit is already here, because the Bible tells us in 1 John 4:3, "And every spirit that confesseth not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is not of God. And this is that spirit of Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already it is in the world." There are a lot of misconceptions surrounding the being that will be called the Antichrist in the book of Revelation. To clear up some of these misconceptions, we need to start with his name, the Antichrist. The word Antichrists means principally against Christ, or secondarily, it means instead of Christ, i.e., a substitute. The majority of people focus on the meaning of the opposite Jesus, rather than the meaning instead of Jesus. Because of this, people envision the Antichrist to be the opposite of Christ. Jesus appeared as a lovely, compassionate, good Christ. Therefore, everyone thinks the Antichrist will appear as a supremely evil person. They think that as much as Jesus went around doing good, healing the sick, raising the dead, feeding the 5,000, shepherding the lost, they think the Antichrist will go around doing the opposite. But he won't at first. People who envision the Antichrist to be the opposite of Christ have the standpoint that whilst Jesus' character and personality while he was on this earth was beautiful and attractive, the Antichrist's character and personality will be unpleasant and disgusting. As much as Jesus spoke only truth, the Antichrist will speak only lies. However, this emphasizes the idea of the opposite Jesus too much. The Antichrist will instead be more of an instead of Jesus.
The Antichrist will pretend to be peaceful. He won't appear with horns and red eyes. No. This is where the deception is. He won't let his colors truly show initially.
If we look at the scriptures, there are different characteristics of the Antichrist. What are these characteristics of the Antichrist? 1. He claims to be God and would be worshipped. The first characteristic of the Antichrist should not be new to us. This is his ultimate goal. He wants to be seen as God. He wants to be seen as Christ too, and then be worshipped. The truth is that when he comes, he will indeed be worshipped. The kind of approach he will come with will make people worship him. He will do things that others cannot do. He will bring solutions that others cannot. He will bring peace where others have failed. Matthew 24:24 KJV. "For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect." 2 Thessalonians 2:3-4. "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God." 2. He will blaspheme God. The second thing he will do is speak evil against God. He will say many bad things about God just to deceive many people so that they can worship him. The Antichrist will shift the focus of people from God to himself by telling the people that God is powerless. The pride in the heart of this Antichrist will never make him revere God. His job is not to revere God. He is not here to speak good of God. He will speak evil of God. Revelation 13:6. "And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven." He will show complete and absolute disdain and disrespect for God, insulting God by declaring himself divine. 3. He will display miraculous powers. If there are ways to get the attention of people in the world today, if there are ways to make Christians believe in someone, performing miracles will be number one. Many false pastors and prophets are performing miracles these days. They have been empowered by the Antichrist to prepare the way for him. The Antichrist too will be empowered by the devil to perform miracles just to win people over. The devil has real power. However, his power is nowhere near the power of God. But nevertheless, he is a powerful being that should not be underestimated. After all, he is formally one of God's highest angels and has the power to deceive and emulate miracles. We see in the book of Exodus the devil energizing Pharaoh's magicians to perform miracles. Exodus 7:8-12. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, When Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, Show a miracle for you, then thou shalt say unto Aaron, Take thy rod, and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent. And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so as the Lord had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh, and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantments. For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods. Even in this story, in Exodus, God demonstrates his power over Satan. The Antichrist will have the power to do all different kinds of miracles, and people will believe him and follow him. Many people will follow him and forget God. Revelation 13:13-14, KJV. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had the power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live. 4. The Antichrist comes back to life. If we go to the revelation of John that tells us about the beast from the sea and another one from the land, the beast from the sea had an injury in the head. The Bible called it a deadly injury. That injury signifies a loss. It signifies a defeat. This beast was defeated and rendered powerless, but he came back to life when Satan, the dragon, gave him power. Revelation 13:13. And I saw one of his heads as it was wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. 5. The Antichrist will rule in full authority, and no one can question him. The power that would be given to the Antichrist is not just to perform miracles, it will be to rule. The Antichrist will come to rule the people. He will rule over kingdoms, and people will know him. There will be no one to stop him from ruling, because he will be very powerful. Revelation 13:2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him power, and his seat, and great authority. There is no way the Antichrist will not rule, because he will come with what the world wants. He will come with wealth. He will come with peace. He will come to show the world good things, but he is against God. People will love him because of what he will offer them, and he will rule with ease. 6. The Antichrist will want to be worshipped. This is why he will introduce the mark of the beast. 7. The Antichrist desecrates God's temple. Daniel 9:26 KJV. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood. And unto the end of the world desolations are determined. The Antichrist will destroy the temple of God and take away the things of God in the temple. The Antichrist is no respecter of God and the things of God. He knows his judgment already, but will still make his part. There are followers of the Antichrist who are already desecrating the temple of God. Many false teachers are out there disrespecting the things of God. Jesus mentioned what Daniel has spoken about the temple of God that would be desecrated in Matthew 24:15 KJV. When ye, therefore, shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. 9. His final destination is the lake of fire. Satan and his agents, including the Antichrist, already know where they will end, and that is hellfire. The Antichrist will end in the lake of fire. He will not rule forever. He is just playing his part, just as the devil has ordered him, and when he is done playing his part, he will end in the lake of fire where there is no end. Revelation 19:20. And I saw the beast, and the kings of the earth, and their armies, gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse, and against his army. These things about the characteristics of the Antichrist or what the Antichrist would do is not something we should just listen to and nod our head like we understand everything. This is a warning from God to us. This is also to remind us that the time that the Antichrist will come is nearer than ever, and we must be prepared. The Antichrist will not come to joke with anyone. He is coming to rule. He is coming to deceive people. He is coming to perform miracles and cause people to stumble, and even the elect will fall too. This is to warn you. This is to let you know that you need to stay focused and keep looking at Jesus.